Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all having a great day. So, want to talk about Andrew Yang's performance at the fifth Democratic debate in Atlanta, and certainly one of Andrew's most best debates. So, some analysts are saying that across the internet online are saying he won the debate. So I'm putting him at number two. And of course, when you get to major media groups, he is not up there. In fact, he was kind of ignored the first 30 minutes of the debate. So what we have to really take a look at, and this is a big problem. This is a huge problem. This is something that I believe shouldn't even be legal. And that is the great amount of influence media groups, have on our elections, right? I mean, it is just ridiculous. So when there are certain election rules with candidates about how much time they can get. I believe like if you're a media personality or something like that, you have to actually reduce your time that you're on the air, right? But why is it not like the same way how these events that are held by these groups can spend so much time with one candidate, can do these exposés and these pieces on candidates more so than the others and focus on candidates more so than the other? Doesn't that greatly influence the American people, right? Does that make sense to you? Does that sound fair to you that these media groups can pretty much prop up their own candidates? So I guess what I'm saying is that when media groups uh, are creating these avenues to in these debates to for these candidates to get exposure, right? For the American people to hear them. It is horrible. We need to get money out of politics. This needs to be something that is handled by the government in a way that once a candidate gets enough support, that there's a certain budget. Now Andrew Yang talks of this like democracy dollars and things like that, but this is something that should have been implemented a long time ago. And I find as we keep doing this thing with these media groups where they can influence and pretty much try and it's becoming almost shamelessly now, isn't it? Like how some of these media groups are just so obvious with who their picks of candidates to win are. And wow, bias isn't even a word. But this is something that needs to stop. This is something that these media groups need to be boycotted or something like that. We really need to stop letting these media group influence our election. Doesn't make any sense. But what's been getting a lot of buzz is Andrew Yang's question he got last night about what he would do, on his first communication with Vladimir Putin of Russia, right? And of course, Andrew does this very hilarious. He makes this very hilarious answer where he says he would tell Putin that sorry I beat your guy, right? Let him know that Russia was responsible for getting Trump election, or this great deal of meddling in elections. Excuse me, that I don't think at this point should even be. Trump's still going around saying things like, he doesn't believe that. Of course he would say that, right? Because it would question the legitimacy of his presidency if he doesn't say that. Um, but yeah, this he let him know about the meddling in the elections and how that the American people would see that as hostility. So I like that. That showed that Andrew Yang is quite strong on how he's going to deal with these foreign powers, because it's kind of been decided that Andrew Yang is kind of the easygoing, let anything kind of goes, guys, especially when it comes to military action in Russia and China. And so tonight, Andrew proved to be very strong in those areas and how he deals with these people. Um, and of course, he had this very charming moment with Tim Steyer of the about how he spends his money in global warming. I'm sorry, Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer needs to get more out there so I can know his name. But he has this, this charming moment where he kind of sticks up for Tom Steyer, and that's something we haven't seen in quite a while, is it? We haven't seen where candidates have these kind of gentleman wars when they're running for president. Ever since the reality TV show that has become part of our political scene started from Donald Trump, we don't even know what that is to be able to actually have a gentleman's, debate. And now it's got to be, this crazy reality show. And it's almost like, the way Andrew Yang explained it, when he's backstage at these debates, right? We can't see it because we're not there. But he talks about how these debates are these big reality TV shows. And the candidates are so phony and fake, right? And so you can see that because you can see when Andrew Yang's up there, even like Tom Steyer to a great degree, they both to me kind of seem like very genuine people. But the other candidates, you could tell it's scripted, that they're trying to win those points. They're trying to put on that show for the American people. And, we're dealing with real issues here. We got to get really serious about what we expect from our candidates here, because they're playing with our lives and they're playing with our money. And it's a big reality TV show for them. But Andrew performed very, very well. Now, again, of course, the analysts aren't giving him the credit. And at this point, like I was saying, I really don't hold the opinions and the political analysis of these media groups. I don't really hold them to any credibility, because the amount of bias I've seen with these groups, I can obviously see what they do and how they try to ignore candidates, how they try to prop up the people that they would like to win. So it's going to come down to us, the voters, right? There are two things going on. There is the reality TV show that we see, and when politicians land talking points or they say something fancy, there is that show, and then there's the reality, and there is the actual reality of, where we have to live in a country with a lot of problems. And we're gonna have to choose as American people, which part of that show we want to be on, which one we want to be a part of, because it is us who's going to be affected by this. It is our own best interest that is at stake, and it is us voting against our own best interest many times. And we've been doing that a long time ago. Don't think it's uncommon for people to go against their own best interest. People do that kind of thing all the time. Human beings are very complicated creatures, and we do things that don't necessarily make sense quite a bit, right? We will defend, certain things that benefit certain aspects of our community, of our country, that don't is not in our best interest, right? I've seen people uphold policies that don't benefit the middle class, that more so benefit the more wealthier people, right? And they themselves aren't wealthy people. So this is what I mean. This happens actually quite a bit. But I thought Andrew's performance was great. But Andrew now is focusing on his path forward with us, his voters, when election day comes, right? And so it's going to be time for us to go out there and let people know about Andrew Yang as well. Help them to see what we've seen in Andrew Yang, and maybe dispel some of the misconceptions about Andrew Yang's policies. And I have faith in the American people that the American people are going to make the right decision. I believe the American people as a whole are a lot more intelligent than what they're trying to pull over our heads in politics. I think we're in this bicameral system where we can only choose between two people, and there's many disadvantages there. But I think that we're more political savvy than we've ever been in the history of the country. And I think that we're going to be making a lot better decisions in our political systems than we've been making. And with Andrew Yang has had a tremendous run so far. He has been the underdog and he has overperformed, I believe, beyond many people's expectations. And that is the catalyst. That is the start of American people getting to a point where they finally start to hold to task and create a political system that really serves the people for a change. So I think that's where we're headed. I thought Andrew did great in the debate. I didn't really see any weak spots in Andrew's questions. I thought he nailed everyone. His closing statement was awesome. He talks about what's on the horizon, the technology. We live in a very technological world. We've got a great portion of our society that don't even completely understand. Of course, I deal a lot in blockchain technology, more advanced technology, and I get a chance to learn a lot about artificial intelligence and what it can do. And people who work in tech industries, they understand it too. But the normal people, the average citizen, is probably unaware of where we're headed with AI and artificial intelligence and robotics. I don't think they really fully understand the serious situation that we're facing with how Andrew Yang terms it the fourth industrial revolution. I think it's being underplayed quite a bit. And I think we're going to be in a lot of trouble if we think this is going to be something that is a breeze and doesn't really affect American people, and that we're going to just be able to keep working like we're doing and have jobs available like we do. I think it's going to be quite different than what we think. And this is not something we could take a chance with, right? This is not something we could be wrong about. We got to really think about what we're going to have to do. But I thought Andrew did a great job. I thought his closing statement was great. Andrew's gained a lot of support. I believe he's going to raise a lot more money going forward here. And I just think Andrew's run a really good race. And when it's time to go out to those polls, I think Andrew Yang's been underestimated a lot. I think it's going to be a turnout unlike what we believe. Because I think it's two things happening. I think it's what the American people really want, and I think it's what the media and the news groups are trying to show us right now. My personal thoughts are these are two different things, but we shall see. Anyway, want to tell you real quick about our project, BitcoinNYK.com. Uses blockchain technology. We have a universal basic income project that moves over to blockchain. It is free to use, created for you all to take advantage of. You could do great things like move this cryptocurrency around. It can be converted to fiat currencies in your local economies. It is global. We'll leave a link in the description. We hope you check it out. But that's all I want to say in this video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.